687,281,281% APY, with the ability to not only have insane APY, but to also get a boost for staking in NFT. What is up, everybody? My name is Dan from the Hidden Gem Network, and welcome to one of the most requested videos that I create around this project that's launching a brand new DAO, another OHM fork, but this time there's a little twist to it. Now, if you don't mind, just please be patient with this video because there's a lot for me to cover. As a matter of fact, this is probably one of the most in-depth videos that I went in and did research on, and it led me down a rabbit hole, and it led me down to even going and deciding to learn how to program in literally Solidity. No idea how to program, but because I've been going down this rabbit hole, I decided to buy courses and just progress myself even further when I'm currently sick and I was bedridden. I feel a little bit better after taking a bunch of medicine, but I digress. There's a lot of stuff I want to cover with the project Immortal Monks that recently just launched, and I've been talking about them for like about 2 weeks, maybe 4 or 5 videos. I mentioned them in the end, but now I think it deserves its own video because a lot of people are asking me what's going on. Can you give me, like kind of what's happening, what this is all about? Why is it incredible? How many do you own? We're going to get to all that. So first things first, I want to address people saying, oh, they didn't mint out. They didn't sell out. So I found this interesting as well with kind of the hype and the buzz that was in the Discord. There were so many people waiting. The whitelist, in my opinion, actually did fairly well. I think during the whitelist, they sold like 500 or 600 monks. And as I was watching it, because I was one of the people on the whitelist, I bought 2 monks as well. So what I noticed was that a lot of the whitelist people that were whitelisted, they ended up buying 2 monks themselves because 2 was the max. However, when they opened up to the public, it just flooded with sales, so many new holders. However, it seemed like it hit a wall, like people just stopped buying for some reason. Now, here's kind of, my concern was, dang, if there's not, enough hype and people behind it, will this project push forward? Like, what's gonna happen? So I actually didn't make this video earlier. I've been sitting on it, watching what they're doing, kind of contemplating when is a good time to talk about all this. And I figured now is the best time. So the best thing that I read in the announcements, and I've been sick, kind of just like, poking in and out on my phone in the Discord, and I see all the announcements that come through because they tag everyone. So I'm actually going to read this to you, and I'm going to give you my feedback on it as to why I think this is brilliant. This is insane, and then I'm going to give you kind of the De Beers theory behind this. Now, if you don't know what De Beers is, and I probably am pronouncing that wrong, it's actually they owned a monopoly with diamonds. So they were the ones who controlled the diamond supply. But you'll understand why I'm going to say that and why I'm going to tie it into De Beers. Because historically, I like to look at what has happened with other monopolies out there and kind of like the same idea of what's happening, because history doesn't repeat itself, it rhymes with itself, right? So this has never been done before, so I have nothing to base this off of in the NFT space. However, it's been done in the world before. Like it happened already, but just in a different like ecosystem, a different marketplace, if you will. So let's read their announcement real quick. I have it pulled up here. From Enlightened, greeting monks, monks revealing themselves, yada, yada. Okay, so it's called Closing the Gates. Only the lucky will thrive. So they're going to be closing the public mint period on Sunday at 11:59 p.m. Eastern time. And I'm here on the East Coast in Jersey. They're closing at 11:59. So what is it? It's Saturday at 3 in the morning. Tomorrow they're closing it. Great, doesn't matter. But to ensure no unworthy mortals can enter the monastery at will. So I was like, okay, they're going to close it down. And I kept on reading. Any Immortal Monk NFT that remains will be cast away to the monastery finance treasury and inaccessible to the general public. That also means all circulating monks, Immortal Monks, immediately become rarer and more valuable, as the demand will skyrocket once the DAO launches, or once the DAO launches within our sites. Be sure to mint, yada, yada. So, okay, now I absolutely love this. And I have a previous marketing background. Like that's what I did, is marketing. It's how I made money. So, okay, this is your Run-of-the-mill standard supply and demand move, if you will. Now, why is this important? I'm not going to explain it to you and try to like relay the concept of what they're doing with analogies and whatnot. Rather, like I said, I want to show you what's been done in history so you can get the concept of what I see in theory. All right, so look at this. From inception in 1888 to the start of the 21st century, I think in 2010 or 2011, after I dove deep into this rabbit hole, De Beers controlled 80 to 85% of the rough diamond distribution. It was considered a monopoly, and it was broken up by antitrust laws, if I recall. So again, it was broken up because it was a monopoly, because jewelers would have to go ahead and get their diamonds from this company, and they controlled how much was let out. So why did I dive deep into this, and why did I kind of and why am I kind of making this an analogy towards Immortal Monks? Is because if there's a limited supply, right? Or if there's in this case, there's a maximum supply. However, if they're all minted, great. Like that's incredible. There's a ton of different holders. And again, the demand for them once the monastery opens is going to be high. However, let's just theoretically say if we open up the Immortal Monks right now as it stands, there's 731 owners and there's 1,443 monks left. So that means another 1,017 to be minted. So let's just say it closes right now and there's 1,000 that get put into the treasury, right? So they can do one of two things, and this is important to understand. They can forever leave it in the treasury, which would technically, I mean, it would become liquidity, I guess, if they decided to liquidate it, I would assume, or because of the governance that they're doing with holding two monks, you'll be able to, as a holder, vote on if a monk should be released and what happens to those monks that are in the treasury, because as holders of governance tokens, we'll be able to vote on what happens. So think about this, okay? The control of how many monks ever leave the monastery controls what your monk is worth, all right? So just like De Beers, they control how many diamonds are in the market at any given time. But they, as an organization, a company, decide what they want to release. Us as holders that have governance, we control what happens to the remaining monks. Theoretically, this is how it should work. We're able to cast votes on if a monk goes out into the open market. Now, let's just say theoretically that it closes right now, the monastery opens, so much hype, a bunch of people are staking, and it drives up each monk's floor value to like 20 Ethereum, right? And let's just say they cast a vote saying, hey, we want to release 3 monks from the monastery. And what we're going to do with those monks is we're going to liquidate them and then distribute the funds or the earnings or the profits to all the stakers of monks. So kind of think about like what Jade Protocol is doing with airdropping money, right? That's a possibility as a holder of governance tokens, and whoever holds a monk, that's a possibility to happen. But the only way it can happen is if we decide on the release and the distribution of those 3 monks in the treasury. So whatever's left in the treasury, the way that I look at it is, number one, it's gone, or we're the ones that have control of it because we have to vote on what happens. So in my opinion, this is such a smart move if it's executed kind of the way that I'm thinking about it. I don't think if they're going to lock them away, they're going to put them in the treasury, I don't think they're going to touch them, because logically speaking, why would they close it down to put them in the treasury to just re-release them? There's no point. They should just leave it open mint until they all sell, right? So they want to kind of constrain and squeeze the supply that's circulating, and I think it's a really smart move given the fact that we might have control as governance token holders to be able to make a call if we want to liquidate them for X purpose, whatever it is. Again, they come up with a proposal. If it makes sense, great. So there's a lot that can happen, but it's going to drive our monks' floor price. It's going to drive our monks' values through the roof. Now, here's another thing that I saw. A whale bought over 30 monks. Where is this? Right over here. Take a look at this. Okay, so I went through a bunch of holders that were, if you just go and take a look at the Monk's contract, you can take a look at holders. And it's really interesting. I'll refresh this as well. You can see that this address purchased 36 monks. Now, listen, I don't necessarily think anybody's going to invest that much money, especially like a whale. Maybe, again, whales just kind of throw their money around from time to time to have fun. But I don't think somebody's necessarily going to take that much and invest into a random NFT. Let me just add this up. This is 8.5 Ethereum. And if I just open up my calculator and just multiply by maybe 3,900, they spent $33,150 and they had to pay a gas fee each time just to mint these. Now, there's actually a few holders that minted more than I think like 10 or 20 or something like that. And I just found it extremely interesting that if an individual and more than one individual are willing to go ahead and purchase these many monks for this much money, it's an interesting thing to look at because it gives a lot of validity to a project like this. Because if I'm a whale and I just have this much money to throw around into an NFT that promises to do X, Y, and Z, but doesn't have anything to deliver yet, that's a big risk that you're taking. So I personally have 3. I have one that was given to me because I won the contest because you guys are awesome and just supported me hardcore and joined their Discord. So I thank all of you for that, which again, like I said, I'm giving away. And then I have 2 that I minted. And now I'm going to mint live. I'm going to mint another 2. And I'm going to give away one of the monks. I'm going to keep the other one. I'm going to give away one. I'm going to give away one that I'm minting right now. And then I'm going to keep 3. So that's my plan. So let's go mint. So here we are. I'm on mint.immortalmonks.com. This is where they have their official mint link. Let me just go to immortalmonks.com real quick and just make sure it's like the official. Oh yeah, they have their rug doc. They did a KYC with rug doc. I didn't even include that in my document. So I don't really want to touch on that actually because they verified their identification. Like they showed their ID on camera, I think it was. Actually, I'll cover this right now before I mint because a lot of people when I saw on the Discord, this was so crazy. Oh my goodness, this was so crazy to me. So we got the announcement. Everybody in the Discord, when they at everybody, where is this in the Discord? Where is this? 1 hour. Okay, so right here. Status of the KYC, and then I think they posted on their Twitter feed if it was. Let me see. Okay, yeah. So probably most likely nothing. So this is their rug doc, and rug doc does a KYC, which is a know your customer or know your consumer, and they basically verified their identification, like their IDs of who they were to rug doc. Who if Immortal Monks scammed and they just ran away with all this money, rug doc would go ahead and provide their information to authorities. Long story short, these people, if they do go ahead and scam, they're going to be going to prison. They're going to be getting into a lot of trouble because that's a lot of money. You're stealing people's money. So a lot of people actually had, and I was watching the Discord, it was so funny because the entire community asked for a KYC and they said no at first. The admin said no at first. And I was just like, all right, I get it, it's DeFi, but it'd be really cool. This is a little bit more expensive, highly speculative if you're even going to launch it, etc. So they 2 days before or a day and a half before, they announced that they were going to do it. And in my head, I was like, no way they're going to pull it off in a day and a half. They pulled it off in a day and a half. They did it. So after they got it done, the community loved it. However, there was a few people when I was watching the chat, they were like, well, what does this mean? Having said that above, we're classifying this as not eligible as we recommend these kind of projects to pass reputable audits and KYC verifications as there is a risk of governance mishandling. Before investing, we also recommend users conduct their own. So long story short, everybody was like, everyone just kept, or like 5 people, were just like harping on the fact that it said not eligible. Okay. In their documents, they actually explain what not eligible means, but I'm going to give you the TLDR. So this is a copy and paste. This is a template. Let me just reiterate this with more facts. So everybody was bringing up like that exact statement, that wording, and everybody also said, well, Jade Protocol did it. So let's go to Jade Protocol's KYC. What does it say over here? The same exact thing it says for monks. As a matter of fact, even the RugDoc KYC is the same as Immortal Monks. I noticed that these are just copy and paste. Then I went and grabbed a completely random DAO that got reviewed. Same thing, not eligible. And it literally, it's a copy, it's a template that they use. they verify the ownership, like who the people are, the admins, but they use the same template. But what does the not eligible mean? It means that the DAO or whatever contract they're launching hasn't been audited. So it's not audited by a firm. So it's not eligible because it wasn't audited. But here's the thing. What are you going to audit if the DAO isn't available? So the KYC is passed. Right over here, they said that the owner, the dev, was arranged by reviewers, yada yada. So I can't read. Feel like Floyd Mayweather. The dev or owner introduced himself and said that they were the person. He's the person behind the project. We asked to confirm his identity with a passport. So they confirmed their entire identity and confirmed ownership of the wallet. That's great. That's phenomenal. So again, they verified their identification. There's really nothing more to that. We know who they are. At least KYC'd with RugDoc. We know that they know who they are. So again, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to mint another 2. And here we go. So, you're allowed to mint 4. I guess they changed that with the Sunday rule. Okay. In which case, I'm going to mint 3 if the gas allows me. Mint $91? Oh, baby. Confirm. So I just minted another 3. As you can see, I actually got one with a dragon, which is really, really cool. So, really quickly, I personally I believe in Immortal Monks, so I don't mind holding 5. Well, I'm giving 2 away now, so I don't mind holding 5. So again, that's pretty much it. Now, what's really cool is I did something in the general chat before Monks actually launched. Now, it's because a lot of people in Immortal Monks actually heard about it from myself or other creators like RJ. And here's a quick shout out to RJ as well. Because again, I don't watch a lot of people on YouTube when it comes down to crypto. There's just a few individuals that I watch. And it was really interesting to see RJ cover this. And I saw him in the chat here and there. So shout out to RJ. Go check out his channel. I'll actually leave it in the description for you guys to check out. Always helping new creators. But let's continue. I saw in the chat, I think maybe a day before launch, that there was this guy named Monk Johnson. And I personally, when I believe in something wholeheartedly and very strongly, I will put all of my effort, all of my everything, my spirit, you'll just see me so thrilled about it. And, the other thing is my reputation is on the line. Let's face it. A lot of people that heard about Immortal Monks through me and decided to get into Immortal Monks was because they trust me enough. So my rep is on the line here. I know that. I'm not going out there and just being like, oh, get this project, get this coin, get this, get that. No. So I'm very meticulous with what I look into, what I pick. Even though you see me create videos on Jade and Wonderland, I make it very clear that they're speculative. They're not Wonderland, but Jade, probably a scam. Again, Heck DAO, maybe a scam. I don't think Wonderland's a scam, but it could be. Again, I'm very, very meticulous on what I believe is not a scam and what is a scam. And I've been scammed so many times. You remember in the beginning of the year, during that meme coin revolution, I used to go on to Crypto Moonshots on Reddit, click on the new tab, and every single minute there was a new meme coin being posted. And I made decent money off of this, but man, for every 10 that I put 1 or 2 BNB into, I would say I got rugged 8 or 9 times. But the ones that I didn't get rugged on, I actually made a decent profit. But let me tell you something. Holy cow, did I get rugged so many times. So when it comes down to spotting a rug and kind of seeing how these scams operate and other NFT scams and just these crypto scams in general, again, I've been around the block. I've been scammed a lot of times. So I know exactly what to look out for and, kind of like a checklist of, okay, this doesn't look good, this doesn't look good. So going through all of this, after researching a lot, having a talk with Enlightened Monk, one of the admins, devs over there, we had a decent conversation going back and forth, and I really don't believe it's a scam, so I decided to put my money where my mouth is. So there was a member, his name was Monk Johnson. Let me see if I can pull it up over here. And he was basically saying, something is is off. Something really doesn't make sense. I just don't feel comfortable. Something along those lines in the general chat. And so we were having a back and forth conversation, and this is exactly what I said. I said, I've been scammed and rugged so many times, so bad. I lost so much where I didn't, that I had to learn how to spot and scams and rugs, or I would have gone broke. And I said, this project isn't it. I was like, you know what, Monk Johnson, how about this? I want to put my money where my mouth is. If Immortal Monks scams a rug, I'll give you back whatever you invested. I'll also have it contractually signed on DocuSign, so it's legal between him and I. I executed on that. And you can go into the general chat inside of Immortal Monks and tag Monk Johnson, ask him if he signed a contract between me and him on DocuSign, a legal contract that if Monks were to scam or rug, I have to pay him back whatever he invested. In this case, he bought 2 monks, so it's 0.44 ETH. And that's exactly what it contractually says. So you can see right over here, he said, I would love is you did that for me, man. Like, again, he meant if you did that for me. So we did it. We literally contractually did it. So I'm putting my money where my mouth is. And I said to Monk Johnson, you're the only one that I'm going to do this with because, yeah, I'm not a billionaire, guys. So again, I am putting my money where my mouth is because I don't believe that Monks is a scam. Like, I just thoroughly don't believe there's not enough things pointing to scam in comparison to a lot of things pointing to this is legitimate and they're going to deliver. So now there's another argument that I saw recently is that people were saying, the art and rarity, they were upset because of the rarity. And there was something, somebody said something, they're like, if you look at the top 10, it doesn't look like it was randomized. It looks like the top 10 were actually, given like sequential, I guess. So you see right over here, rank 2 is Immortal Monk number 3. Immortal Monk number 1 is rank 3. Immortal Monk number 4 is ranked 4. Immortal Monk number 2 is rank 6. You get the idea, okay? So it doesn't look random, rather sequential. Now here's the thing: is that not all monks are minted. So this is only showing 1.4K out of 2,500. So can these particular monks be deranked and pushed lower? Yeah, absolutely. Do I think that it was sequential? No, there's no reason to do it sequentially. And if we keep going down, we can see that these the monk number, they're random. I just don't see a pattern here to say, yes, it was sequential. I really think it was just the luck of the draw. There's nothing that points out for it to be an actual, for it to be not randomized. So I looked at my monks, and you could see I have a top 100 monk, and then I have a top 1,000, right? So I have a rank 974, and I have a rank 96, and this is 585, Immortal Monk number 585, and Immortal Monk number 586. These people that are worried about rarity, okay, sure, it makes your monk valuable in the short term because there's nothing to use your monk for yet. There's no utility yet, but the worth of the monk, the actual basis of why it's useful is based off of the utility, not based off of the rarity. And people are forgetting that this is a utility-based project, not an art-based project. So yes, art is important. I personally could care less about the art. Rather, I care about the utility. So that's just my take on it. I don't think it was sequential. And that actually brought me to an interesting point. Right down here, I went to the contract and tried to skim through it. No idea what was going on. And because I had no idea what was going on, I decided to dive in and learn Solidity. I bought courses, so currently I feel absolutely horrible. I've just been in bed, sleeping, getting rest, etc. And then randomly I was like, you know what? Let's learn Solidity. Let's actually dive in so I can know what I'm looking at in the future when I go through all this. I want to be informed. I want to know what's going on. So that actually led me down this, kind of this path to learn and excel what I know. So again, thanks for those of you who complained about the rarity, because now I'm going to learn Solidity and I'm going to do anything to just progress in my learning journey. So again, that's quickly something I wanted to cover. Next, I want to discuss betting on long-term play. Now listen, when I was younger, I didn't have a lot of money. I worked at Burger King and I used to bike there on my Harrow bike. And I didn't have a lot of money. So I lived in my parents' basement at the time. And the money that I did have, I was so deeply ingrained in what I wanted to do since I could remember at like 14 or 13. I always wanted to become a venture capitalist. That's what I wanted to become. I wanted to invest in technology companies and watch it grow. I've always had a fascination. However, I dove deep and there was this learning curve or learning period in my life where I just dove into so many books. And some of the books that I dove into were a lot of Warren Buffett autobiographies and more than anything, Benjamin Graham's Intelligent Investor and Warren Buffett's investing philosophies. So why I mention this and what I'm going to show you is I have a philosophy of longer term rather than shorter term. Now, what's interesting about crypto space is that we're all here for the quick gains in the short period. However, this is a play, when we talk about monks, this is a play that's going to take time to develop, but it also incorporates that quick gratification of gains. So look at this, okay? I didn't have a lot of money when Square Square was $9.36, right? I put in $500. Same with L Brands. Do I still have L Brands? Did they change their name? I remember L Brands was LB. Okay, so L Brands was like Victoria's Secrets, Big Lots, etc. So at the time, I saw Square, which, as we know, is a massive payments platform, internet payments provider. L Brands was a failing. They were failing because Victoria's Secret wasn't doing well, Big Lots wasn't doing well, and the reason why was because they were basically refusing to go online. Amazon was just taking over everybody's sales and killing so many brick and mortar stores. L Brands, again, Victoria's Secret, Pink, they refused to go online. Square was a company that was going to be a payment provider, a merchant processing for online payments. Again, we started to see the rise of e-commerce just boom at the time. And this was, when did I buy this? This was in 2016, right? This is when we started to see a massive, massive boom in online sales. So I said to myself, okay, Square's going to be massive because it solves a huge problem in a sector of a market that's just growing so fast. L Brands, my thought process is, yes, I went through their balance sheet, had no idea what I was even looking at, but all I can see was their profit and loss from every single year. And what I realized was if they were to liquidate everything, all their stores, everything, if they were to liquidate, then they would be not super profitable, but they'd have enough money to restart, if you will. But here's the thing, is all they needed to do was go online. That's it. That's all they needed to do. So right over here, BBWI, which is Bed, Bath, and Body Works. There we go. So I noticed with L Brands again that all they had to do was go ahead and go online, close down some stores, liquidate some products, move online, and they will be fine. So what happened? Well, I was right. So this is almost a 200% gain. Same thing with Square. That's a 1,600% gain. And again, these are things that I'm looking forward to longer term. And I recently started going ahead and putting in a little bit more money into this account. And the reason why I'm showing you this is because I believe Monks longer term is going to be, the NFT itself is going to be my Square, my Bed Bath and Body Works. The value is going to increase because the utility, what it's going to accomplish. We're at a stage where we're investing into a startup essentially, and it fulfills my dream of wanting to be a venture capitalist. So again, this has long-term potential to be an insane gainer. And holders and supply. Majority of people who minted on the whitelist and majority of holders right now have 2 or more. So if we just take a look at Immortal Monks OpenSea, we can see 731 owners with 1,447 minted, which again is about an average of 2 monks per holder. That's a really good sign. But my prediction is that there's going to be anywhere from 1,200 to 1,400 unique holders if this fully minted out. Will there be less? Maybe. But again, I definitely see each holder or minter or whoever has a monk at least hold 2 to 3. It's also beneficial to hold 2 because you can stake in the monastery, aka the DAO, and you can also stake for governance tokens. And again, what's important about that is it lowers how many unique individuals have a monk, which means higher APYs because there's less people that stake for the boost. Does that make sense? So if there's 2,500 people that all own a monk, so again, 1 unique per person, then the APY boost would be lower theoretically given the fact that there's more stakers, but because there's less stakers, the APY boost can be higher theoretically. So by the way, if anybody in the contract goes and looks at monks, if you know how this is programmed and whatnot, if you can tell if the rarity was random or if it wasn't. So again, like I said, I'm learning Solidity now because I want to be more informed in the future. So floor versus mint, very interesting is that I've seen some monks like very rarely. I saw one for like 0.21 or 0.22. It was scooped up like that. So just check OpenSea and see if you can get a floor price that's cheaper than the mint. Because if there's one for like 0.23 and the mint is 0.25, just scoop up that floor really quickly because it's cheaper to do that. So that's an option for you. If not, you can obviously get a monk through the Immortal Monks site. And how long to hold, when to start questioning what's going on, 30 to 45 days. They said that the DAO will go ahead and be released during that time, maybe sooner. But again, I'm giving it at least 45 days before I'm like, hey, what's going on? And I want to see consistent progress. If you hold a monk, you'll be able to get into the Monk Society. You have to verify to get in. So enter Monk Society, you just type in join, and then you have to verify with your wallet that you're a holder. So I like that, it's really cool. So only people that hold monks are able to get in. APY and their DAO predictions, I don't know. Possibly, if I had to guess, probably like 500K to 1,000,000% when it first opens. When it first opens. Probably lasts for a day, maybe less. It could be a lot higher, could be a lot less. Am I minting more? I just showed you that I minted. How many do I have? I'm gonna have 6. I'm giving 2 away. One's already given away. I'm gonna be holding another giveaway. So that's my take on monks. I'm sorry this was a longer video. If you have any questions, leave them below. I would recommend getting one before they close the doors and the monks go back into the treasury. That's just my take. But again, this isn't financial advice. These are my opinions. These are my thoughts. This is my feedback. I hope you enjoyed it. And with that being said, smash a like, subscribe. I'll catch you guys very soon. Bye, everyone.